What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Helmet 49ers podcast. Today, we'll be doing a free jump episode. First, I'm your host, JT, and my co-host is my dad.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode, right?
Yeah. And first, don't forget to like.
And subscribe.
So yeah, let's get into it. We are doing the free agency episode. I know last episode we didn't do a free agency episode, but that was for re-signing. This time we are actually grabbing free agents from different teams.
Yep.
This is our predictions. It's not official.
No, definitely. I don't have any. I'm not texting John Lynch or anything right now, but yeah, we are going to go through the free agents that are out there. We collected some of them, right, that we thought might fit pretty well with the salary cap and hopefully our scheme. But a couple of shots in the dark, but we're going to give it a shot. And we're going to be looking at offense this time. So this episode will be for offensive free agents that we think would do well coming over to the Niners. There are some, we talked about it, there are some positions that we don't think we need any free agents coming in. And those are which ones?
The ones that we don't need? Yeah, the ones we don't need are running backs, fullbacks, wide receivers, and other ones we don't need. Not some missing position.
Oh, yeah, like left tackle, left guard, pretty much. Right guard, I'd say too. So, yeah. So basically, we are looking at quarterback. We are looking at backup tight ends too. A right tackle, possibly a center, which I haven't really done much.
Yeah, we haven't really done that, but we'll just assume that we're gonna keep Brendel and he'll play well. He had a surprising season, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so let's shoot for that. Okay, so let's start with the offensive tackles, huh? The right tackle. We looked through a list of some free agents, and it's kind of tough because Mike McGlinchey is like ranked to the tops of the list of free agents. So basically, almost anybody else will be signing, say by PFF grades, would be worse than McGlinchey and cost just as much, maybe. So that's the tricky part. That's really tricky because, McGlinchey is rated pretty high as a free agent offensive tackle. But if we can't re-sign him, if he gets too high of a bid from another team, here's a couple of tackles that we looked at and thought might fit. So you got a couple, right?
Isaiah Wynn, he's in the Patriots, plays right tackle. And mostly how I found out these players were good is by Madden ratings. Because if you're high, then you're good.
Yeah, you got to trust Madden, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I like Isaiah Wynn. Reminds me that when he came out in the draft, he's still pretty young, isn't he? So 26 years old, I think. That would be a pretty good one. Let's see. And then, what's your other one?
Jawan Taylor.
78
overall in Madden. And by the way, Isaiah Wynn was a 77.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah, from the Jaguars. Let's see. They say that he had a pass blocking of 76.7.
Is that good?
That's kind of in the middle of the road, So 14th. So it's not bad. His run blocking is not great. But hey, you're not going to get a perfect tackle here, especially from free agents that we can afford. So we're going to have to take some tackle that might not be great. Because if we're going to go outside the team, not resign McGlinchey, and maybe not think that Colton McKivitz is the next starting right tackle for us, we would need to look outside. So For me, I would go for like more of a bridge guy, um, a player that is older, has a few more good years in him, and hopefully we can develop somebody even more or draft somebody next year when we have a higher draft pick. Um, who knows? I would go Kelvin Beachum. He played for the Arizona Cardinals. Now he's a free agent. He is 33 years old, but he logged a bunch of snaps last year. 1,100 snaps. Um, he's not the greatest of run blockers, but he's a better pass blocker. Like I said, we're gonna have to take the good with the bad sometimes. And last year he had a 2 year, $44 million deal. That's it. So this guy will be very affordable.
Yeah, 2 years. $2 million in 1 year, and I can take that.
I know. I mean that would be a bargain. If we can get a starting right tackle that doesn't get injured.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. And he has a couple, 1 or 2 more years left. He'll bridge us to the next younger offensive tackle that we can develop. That's the way I would go. So, all right, what's next up? Next position is the exciting backup tight end. We'll save the quarterback for last. So, I didn't find a bunch of them, and I don't think you did either.
I found one, and my one, I think it could actually happen because we've been talking about for a couple of years now. Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
From the Titans.
He's from Titans now. Yeah.
And he is a good blocking tight end. I think that's what we usually use our backup tight ends for.
Yeah, and there was a time, right? They were trying to go after him when he was a free agent last time. The Niners were trying to sign him, and I was like, "What?" And at that time, he was pretty hot stuff coming off, becoming a free agent. And I was like, "How are we going to afford both Kittle and um, Hooper?" But it looks like they were going for it. They really liked that combination, and he's coming out free agency again, older, probably not coming off as a great year. So maybe we can afford him this time, and we can bring him in. So if he wants to come, yeah, I think that's a very interesting possibility. I had a couple, but I'm not so hot on them. I wrote down Irv Smith. I'm familiar with him a little bit through the draft. He's okay. I'm for a backup tight end. We're not going to use him a whole bunch, as you've seen with Tyler Croft,
Charlie Warner.
We just don't really. He's more of a pass catching type of guy. He's not blow you away type of guy either, but I think he is serviceable as a backup tight end. Another one I've seen is Eric Tomlinson. He's last year he was playing for the Denver Broncos, and I saw that he had a pretty good run blocking grade. So I think that's very important for Shanahan, and I think he will be inexpensive too. So Eric Tomlinson is my second free agent tight end. Yeah. Now we can get to the most exciting part, quarterback, right?
A back one.
Yeah.
Third stringer.
Yeah, we're talking third string. So it's with Brock Purdy's surgery being pushed off because it was supposed to be February 22nd. And now they're saying that they're going to revisit and look at his arm one more time in early March. So that's going to push back his recovery date for about 2 weeks at least, if they don't push it back again. So it's a little tricky, how good of a third string quarterback, because they might become our second string if Brock Purdy, for whatever reason, isn't ready. So should we be going for somebody higher priced and better, or just a third stringer? That's tough. But we got a whole big list of quarterbacks here. So why don't you start us off with your first?
Mike White, you guys might know him for being pretty good judge quarterback
He did have some
compared to
good
Zach
games.
Wilson.
Oh, that's not saying much.
Yeah, he's a good back quarterback. Like I should say, last year he got 2.5 million, and I think he could maybe go for a bit cheaper, like 2 million a year.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're about right. I think he will stick about. He showed that he could be a backup quarterback, win some games, also lose some, but yeah, it's not too bad. That's a kind of an expensive one that has a little bit of experience starting. That's good.
And then this quarterback isn't a free agent, but I think he'll get released. Matt Ryan.
Yeah, yeah. Matt Ryan. There's a good amount of talk about him because, of course, he has that relationship with Shanahan when he won MVP with the Falcons. He had a great year under his scheme, so that is a pretty good choice. And he should be inexpensive. And coming in, he should know the system. He shouldn't take long to relearn Shanahan's system. And he didn't look great at all. He didn't look good, actually. But he's the
Yeah,
third.
combined 30 turnovers, 15 fumbles, and 15 interceptions.
Well, yeah. Maybe with the shorter pass game that we have and a good run game. Well, they had a good run game too for a while. But maybe it'll work with the Niners. Maybe Shanahan can get a little something out of Matt Ryan. But like I said, third stringer, hopefully he will never see the field. But he is a veteran that knows Shanahan's system. So that's good. What else you got?
Okay, this may be very surprising. Nick Mullins reunites with the 49ers.
Ah, yes. The last guy who had a UCL injury and the guy had the surgery. Let's bring them all back in. It's a UCL club.
It would be pretty fun to see this.
We did meet Nick Mullins in that store one time over at Levi Stadium.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
I was not a Niners fan, a big Niners fan back then, and I had no clue what was happening.
I thought you recognized him.
No, not at all. They're
Yeah,
like, this is Nick Mullins. I was like, who?
we were just shopping at Levi Stadium store, and Nick Mullins was in the store. We're just like, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. We came in, people were talking, people were walking out the store while we were walking in, and they were saying, Nick Mullins is there, Nick Mullins is there. I'm like, what? So I'm all looking around. We find him, we took a picture with him. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Some of your first interactions with a 49er player.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right. So you were saying Nick Mullins, he does know Shanahan's system. So that's another guy, and he made what 2 million last year, so he could be around that range. He'll be very affordable too. I'll give you one more quarterback, and then I'll start my list. Okay.
Okay, Gardner Minshew. He was very cheap with the Eagles last season, $600,000. I mean, I would take that for a third stringer who is pretty good as a backup.
Yeah, I wanted him before when we had a chance to uh, find another backup quarterback. You know, I did like him, so that's a good pick, I think. And if he really is as cheap as that, which I can't imagine, I would imagine he would get a little bit more.
A little
Um,
more than a million.
that's still real cheap compared to Nick Mullins. Well, I don't know, but I do like him. And if it's that cheap, yes, please sign me up. Um, for my list, I have Cooper Rush. He looked really good with the Cowboys when he filled in for Dak Prescott, and he made 1 million last year. Who knows how much he's going to be asking for as a free agent, but um, 2 million can do. We can still do that. We played Nate Sudfeld, guaranteed 2 million last
Yeah,
year,
and he
and
didn't
he
make the team.
he didn't stay with the team exactly. So if we could do 2 million to Rush Cooper Rush, I think that'd be great. Um, he doesn't have a lot of experience though. Matt Ryan was another guy that I did have on my list too that you talked about, and I do like that. If he comes pretty cheap, he's the veteran. He can teach the young quarterback a thing or two.
How to throw the interceptions.
Uh,
Don't
everything
really.
but that.
How to fumble the ball then?
so, so another player that I looked at was, and you did too. He's on your list, but I kind of just took him from you. Taylor Heineke. I've been liking this guy. He's gritty, and he might not win all the games, but he's got some fight in him, and I always liked him for that. So Taylor Heineke, how much did he make?
I don't. Yeah, we don't know that one.
We say 19.
No, 19 mil. He'd make that. That's what he's projected to make.
No, he's okay. He's projected to make on sporttrack.com said that he is on track to make that much market value. That's a lot of money. I can't.
Yeah, he made
believe
2
that.
mil last year.
I can't believe it, but if that's what the market value is, he's priced that out. But hopefully, he's not that expensive. I would like to have him. The last guy I have is Nate Sudfeld. Good old Nate Sudfeld, the guy who almost made the team, but some guy named, I don't know, Brock Purdy.
We will regret it a lot.
Yeah.
He should have made the team.
Oh, Nate Sudfeld, man, what could have been? Could
have won the Super Bowl. Yeah, he could have won the Super Bowl. Could have been a Pro Bowl or an All Pro.
Yeah. So he knows the system. He was about to make the team. I think he would be maybe the perfect third stringer for us, because that's probably what he would have been anyways if he had made the team. So, and he's probably pretty cheap, $1 million maybe a year, very doable. So that's my list. So, yeah, so that's about it, huh? We finished off the offensive side for outside free agents. These are the people that we think would be good signings. We'll see what the Niners do, huh?
Yeah, I just don't feel like they're gonna sign one of these quarterbacks because why would they? They never do anything that we want them to do. They're probably gonna sound like Nathan Peterman or something like that.
Well, they know better than us. That's why. But yeah, they might do Nathan Peterman. You never know. Jeff Driscoll, Tyler Huntley, woo,
Easton Stick.
Jared Stidham. Come on, now he did play very well against us, right?
Yeah,
I was
but
very impressed.
I think the Raiders are trying to build around Jared Stidham now, and they're gonna give him a 3 or 4 year deal, probably.
All right, we'll see if the Raiders
He's too expensive.
Try and re-sign him. He probably is. I mean, he showed up pretty well at the end of the season when they benched Derek Carr
Against the #1 defense.
I gotta say he did pretty well. I think he deserves actually a starting position somewhere. So as a third stringer, he probably would not want to sign with us. So we got to get somebody who's at the end of their career, or somebody who hasn't shown, starter capabilities yet. Those are the people that we got to look for. Unfortunately, it's just a third stringer. Of course, third stringers are very important, as we saw last year. Anyways, so I guess that wraps it up, huh?
Yeah, that wraps it up for today's video. We will do defense next.
Yeah, we'll look into the defensive side of things and the free agents that we think might fit into our team.
I'm pretty sure every position is a whole, like edge, defensive tackle, linebacker, and defensive back. I think we need all of those, honestly.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah. Oh, for the #1 defense, we sure have a lot of holes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe third string holes and things like that. But yeah, that'll be fun. I would love to look up some defensive tackles, some defensive ends. Oh yeah. Maybe a safety here. You know me and safeties. I love safeties.
Ball hawking safety. You always want that. Everyone wants that, but we never get it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right. Oh well.
Okay, now that wraps up for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Goodbye.